Okay, so I've been thinking, right?
Yeah.
Um, I don't. This is so dumb, but I was thinking about. I watched Toy Story with my brother a few days ago, and I was thinking, how funny would it be if you showed someone Toy Story and they didn't know that the toys were alive in it, and it was like a pure surprise, right?
I mean, isn't that kind of the point of the movie? Like, I mean,
Well,
obviously now everyone knows the concept when the first one came out.
Well, I mean, yeah, but they still would have advertised it. They still would have shown it in the trailers, right? I'm just talking about like going in completely blind because there's that opening scene where Andy's playing with all of them, and then he leaves the room and Woody comes to life. Just how funny would it be if someone watching that like leaves the room, Woody comes to life, and he just goes, "Holy shit!" Like just like genuine surprise.
I mean, but to be fair, like you know what you're walking into. Like you watch that movie, it's called Toy Story, and there's like little toys on the front fucking cover. Like, what do you think it's gonna be about? Like just like fabrication of toys, like the factory process of like plastic production to make toys.
No, I mean, what if you didn't even know the title? Like, what if it was blocked out when they show it in the opening
Oh
credits?
yeah, okay.
What if
Huh.
you didn't see the box? You just went in. You're like, hey, watch this animated movie with me, and then the toys come to life, and it's just genuine surprise, like a Keegan Michael Key scream, just, oh,
I mean, I think if you wanted to do that, you could do more surprising shit. We did the same thing with our friend Oscar when we showed him Human Centipede 1, telling him it was a rom-com.
No, but I think he knew we were fucking with him. I think he knew pretty early on that it was a horror movie.
I
And
didn't think
so
he knew just how fucked up it was gonna
Oh no,
get.
no, no! He didn't know what it was about, and that was the best part. Like seeing that realization in real time was fantastic. As one of the, I'm honestly proud that we were able to pull that off.
Yeah, that was great.
I
Sadly, our fallen soldier has not joined us for
No.
our second viewing of the Human Centipede, or actually first viewing of the Human Centipede 2. We're not that insane.
Oh no, that would be amazing if we just were like, let's just watch it again. You know, it's funny you mentioned that because I was thinking when we watched two, I'll level with you. I really wasn't paying that close attention to it
No,
because
me neither.
I mean, there were bits, there were parts of it. It was a movie, but it's just we both watched it on a Discord chat with some other friends of mine, and it was I couldn't get my computer to stream it properly, and so I asked a friend to do it on hers, and so watching, a live stream was not the most effective way of watching this movie because the sound cut out like 80% of the time.
Okay, that's true. Well, but that's what we did on the first one, and it worked fine for me. But I do agree that I didn't really pay attention to the second. Like, okay, obviously I paid attention. I know what happened in the movie, but
Right.
like the first one had sort of like a gripping quality to it. Like you were really sort of like, at least in the first like, I would say 20 to 25 minutes of the movie, you were like kind of really invested in it, and like what the fuck is this? Like, I mean, it was genuinely kind of disturbing what the guy was going to do and stuff. Then it gets long and it gets boring, but that's well, until he centipedes, and then it's not boring anymore. But
But the fact that it kept on buffering and the fact that like 80% of the sound was missing, I feel like really took away from, like, it made it much harder to focus.
yeah, sure.
That coupled with the fact that I was drinking very heavily throughout the movie.
Uh, well, you know what? That's interesting because I probably had the opposite problem. I actually didn't drink at all during the second viewing.
No
Instead,
shit,
didn't-
did you really?
Yeah, no, I just didn't feel like it. So during the first one, I think it was the right. We were all the right amount of drunk. Second one,
Right.
you were too drunk. I was not drunk enough. So I guess that just sort of.
Yeah, I had way more. Well, because I was drinking cider throughout the first one and I was drinking whiskey throughout the second.
Yeah.
Um,
By the way, I found a stash of hidden beer in my grandparents' cellar, so I'm
oh,
gonna
that's
be
wonderful.
drinking that. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I actually smell weed right now coming from someone else's house.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say room. I was like, man, are your parents weed smokers? It's awesome.
No, no, quite the opposite.
Oh, that's too bad.
No, that'd be amazing.
But anyway, I thought the Chinese villain in Human
Oh,
Centipede
shut
2 really was great.
Shiny. That has got to be coming from next door or something like that. Holy
Wait,
shit!
do you want to go? Like, do you want to go ring their bell? Honestly, this is kind
Let me
of an
see if he.
occasion. You got.
Hello. No, I'm not. I'm not seeing anyone. That's disappointing.
That's too bad. Man, you could have done some 1 meter 50 distance weed smoking.
We'll get a really, really long bong.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to suck for 5 minutes to get the smoke in. No, but what I was going to say was that because I wasn't really paying that close attention to it, and just because I feel as if I kind of missed a lot of it, I couldn't hear any of the stuff that was going on, I actually did consider watching it a second time.
Oh, no.
Just so I could just so I could cover it properly on the podcast. I decided not to because I'm like, man, I don't have enough energy to watch Human Centipede 2 twice.
Yeah, bro. Like, if you watch the first one twice, like, it's like so legendary, and like, I did find it a little bit better than the second one. So like, it's, I guess you could get away with it. But watching the second one twice would just like not be good. It would just like not be fun.
Well, it's just, I don't know. It wasn't that. It was my reasoning for it wasn't really the fact that it was an interesting thing. I was like, I want to be able to cover it properly on the podcast. And ultimately my decision against it was just, do I really give that much of a shit?
Yeah, no,
Human Centipede.
No, I think Oscar, and recently, now I know, your boy Isaac listens to this fucking podcast.
Yeah.
So that makes two of y'all. Shout out to you guys.
Our two viewers.
Our two viewers. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, from what I do remember, it was very gross, and I will say is that, like I said, I think the sound being missing made it harder. Like, should I, like it? There wasn't sounds fucked up. There wasn't enough screaming, at least from what I could hear.
Yeah, no, but that's true. That's true. It was just less realistic. But you know what? Enough complaining about the shitty conditions we watched it in. Let's actually start talking about the movie.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of, like, comparing it to the first one, comparing it to, the doctor, the way he sort of like does the thing, the development and stuff. What did you think? What was the?
Well, I mean, look, I think it's weird because I think, it took away. Love that we're really going into this. Yeah. I actually, weirdly enough, think it was a little more subtle than the first one because the guy, the guy, no, hear me out. The guy in it doesn't actually have any lines. Did you notice that? He doesn't speak at all.
That's true. Holy shit, he doesn't talk. That's crazy. I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, but his whole thing, right? There's more build up. You can tell he's mentally ill, but it's not super played up the way it is in the first one. I think the lack of lines makes it like that. Because in the first movie, I mentioned this already, but the doctor just has every like psycho.
Wait,
I feel
like it's more played up that he's mentally ill. He's not as caricatured, but he is like super obviously mentally ill. Like, he's got the bad relationship with his mom thing. He's got the jerking off with sandpaper thing. Like,
oh yeah.
I feel like that's.
Wait, what does he jerk off with sandpaper? I don't remember that.
Wait, right? No, wait, you don't remember that? That was like totally one of the parts that we pointed out.
I remember he jerks off.
Yeah, in front of in his little cabin, and then the two girls see him, and then it just cuts away, and then they're like strapped down. Do you remember that?
No.
Wait, how do you not remember that? Well, Jesus Christ, Jack.
I couldn't hear it, and I was drunk. I don't.
Yeah, but like, God, man, hold on. You know what?
Let me look this up. Human Centipede. I don't need to see it, Jules.
2, masturbation sequence. I should look this up on incognito, whatever.
One thing I never realized while I was watching it, and then I read it, is, do you remember that scene towards the end where like the pregnant lady escapes and then she gives birth in the car?
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ, that fucking scene. That was tense. That was super tense.
One thing I never realized is apparently she like kills it by accident.
Wait, what?
She apparently
Wait, she kills the baby?
She apparently like tries to like slam on the gas and accidentally like crushes the baby's head.
My God, what the fuck? Wait, that's horrible.
I didn't go back to check on it, but that's what it said in the Wikipedia description.
And then they spent around 5 minutes looking up whether or not this scene actually happened and came to a very shitty conclusion. I decided to cut this part out because it is not interesting at all.
Yeah, so we checked, and I guess there's like a new edit or something, because in the version that we saw, in the version that we streamed, there wasn't that shot. So I guess they probably cut it out because it was just like too gruesome. Which honestly I understand. Like, if I'd seen that in that movie, like, that would have kind of fucked with me. Like, Jesus Christ.
As opposed to what? Everything else?
Yeah, honestly, like, everything else is
That's
so
true.
like absurd that you don't really give a shit, right? But there's like a mother who like crushes her baby, man. Like that's pretty fucked
I mean,
up.
yeah, anything with like babies or children is just really fucked up.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah, I mean, it's just yeah. This probably confirms the fact that Serbian film isn't going to work out.
Yeah, I don't think we can do Serbian film. Here's what I will ask, by the way, because I mentioned this kind of in tune with me feeling as if it was a bit more subtle than the other one. What's up with this one being shot like a French New Wave film?
Well, it's not shot like a French New Wave film. Have you seen the image? It's just black and white, but
well, it's got the black and white, and it's just got this very like it's like this character study, you know, of this troubled man.
really, I don't think you've seen enough like French New Wave films.
I haven't,
man.
no.
Okay, to be fair, if it was shot like a French New Wave film, it would have been fucking hilarious. It would have been the greatest thing.
The fucking centipedes like smoking a cigarette outside of a cafe.
Yeah. wait, but you know what? I was thinking about this actually, and the fact that we weren't as involved in the second one, maybe it was because of the fact that it was in black and white. Because I've noticed that, like, I don't know, maybe it wasn't just, it didn't feel as gruesome in parts, you know, just because we didn't see the blood and stuff, you know.
I thought it
like,
was
I think
still
the hue of like reddened flesh and like, you know, like gaping wounds and shit is like, you know, it really fucks with you. Whereas if you see it in black and white, it's just not the same thing.
Well, for the most part, I agree with you there. I think, you know, I think a lot of the violence where he's like knocking people's teeth out with the crowbar and like getting them into place, I think was all kind of really grisly and stuff. The one bit I even remember like actually physically gagging at this is that bit where he like whips the dude's tongue out.
No, it's the girl.
It was a girl.
Yeah, he like fucking pulls her tongue out with tweezers. No, with like God, it's horrible.
I was actually physically gagging during that scene.
Well, it was probably also the alcohol, man. If we're gonna be honest here.
No. That was like a genuine physical response. It had nothing to do with the alcohol.
Oh, really? Wow. Huh.
Yeah, that was awful. I mean, I don't know. It was really... So what I found out, by the way, is that, you know, there's way more... The basic premise of the Centipede is, you know, crazy and fucked up and disturbing.
Sure.
But, you know, I would argue that it's a lot of the shit that they added this time around, like the tongue and the fucking, you know, scene where he kills the mom and all this other shit. Or that scene where the girl, like, puts the centipede in his asshole. Remember that part?
Nice. Yeah, death by centipede up rectum. Gotta love that.
What I found out is that the second movie and the third one were both kind of made as this kind of meta response to all of the controversy that surrounded the first movie.
Wait, really? I thought it was already planned when the first movie came out.
No. So I think he originally conceived the idea as a joke. Good old Tom Six. And basically... The movie was super controversial, and I think the idea behind 2 and 3 was just, if they think that's bad, well, you know, I'll make the most fucked up movie possible. And, you know, 2 and 3 were just designed to be as offensive and disgusting as possible as a response to that. And 3 is so much worse. That's in color, keep in mind, and it's got like way more torture and shit in it.
Wow, God, I can't wait, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
I was when I picture 3, I just picture like, it's the same thing, just more fucking people, you know? And
No,
it's just get boring. But apparently not. That's what everyone is saying. So I can't wait for this.
I don't know. It'll be a journey.
It was just odd. It was just odd because the also it just didn't feel as real, you know. The first one felt like it could almost be real, you know. It could almost happen.
That's true.
The second one just feels like bullshit. Like it's, you know, obviously he wasn't able to actually do that. Like the guy looks like he has like no knowledge of like surgery or like performing surgery like in his life or anything. So it I don't know. It just ends. It's like more people and it's like everything's going perfectly in terms of like sanitation, even though he's in a fucking warehouse.
I don't think it did to be. No, I think the point was that it didn't. Like, I think the whole idea was that it was way more crude than the other one. Like, where he's knocking, you know, in the first one, the dude's like pulling people's teeth out with tweezers. In this one, he's knocking them out with a crowbar, and he's using a staple gun to put them together. I think the whole point of this one was it, like, also he at no point did any tests to see if they were like their tissues matched, and it like they did in the first one.
Wait, but then why does it work?
I don't think it does.
What, really? But they like totally like eat and like shit in each other and stuff, just like they wanted.
Yeah, but
He even fucks them, man. Like, it's good for him.
Oh yeah, he does. Oh Jesus, I forgot about that.
Pretty. I mean, I say them, but it's mainly for the back girl.
The back one, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. God, what a shitty movie, honestly.
It's off. Hey, I see what you did there.
Not on purpose, but
I don't know. It really was just, but I don't think I have the physical energy to watch it again and do a critical analysis of Human Centipede 2.
Oh, I don't think one is needed. I think we can definitely say, I think our critique consensus is like, don't watch it, right?
Yeah, I would say so. It's not, I mean, if you're really, really drunk, sure, but yeah. I don't see why else you would.
Or if you're doing a shitty podcast.
Yeah, if you're doing it for the sake of that, definitely. So yeah, I look forward to following through and watching the third one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so you told me before we started that you started watching Tiger King. What did you think so far?
Yeah, well, I think it's great. I mean, I've been really liking it. I've been actually watching it with my grandparents. Who are both freaked out by it. My grandpa's already stopped watching.
No way, really?
Yeah.
How squeamish are your grandparents?
No, I don't think it's because they're squeamish. Just because it doesn't really interest them. Like, it's kind of like it's a weird fucking world, you know. Like, my grandpa's completely Irish English, so he doesn't, America and like the fucking like deep West doesn't really speak to him.
Wait, did you say Irish English?
Yeah, my grandfather.
Aren't these your parents on your dad's side?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was completely French.
No, my grandma's French.
I didn't know you had English DNA.
Yeah, I do. English and Irish. That's why I'm so fucking white, man.
I mean, I don't really get that interesting. I'm 1/8 Polish, and that's as diverse as it gets for me.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I made my econ teacher think I was quarter Zimbabwe.
No, you did not.
I totally did, man.
How?
I just said it, and she was like, "Oh, cool." Like, it didn't take a lot of convincing.
Have you ever seen that video of this person? He's like a high school student, and he's giving a presentation. He's covering other countries and their culture, and he genuinely convinces his teacher that Wakanda is a real country.
No fucking way. Wait, is this a geography teacher?
Yeah.
Oh my god, there's no way.
Yeah.
Oh, you're kidding. Let me guess, this is in America, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god. But anyway, yeah, Tiger King. So,
Tiger King.
Yeah, we kind of went off.
We really got derailed there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like amazing. I haven't really gotten to because I'm only on episode 2 for reference.
Right.
And people are saying it's like super addicting and stuff. And like super gripping. To be honest, I find it like super interesting and like fucking insane to watch. I haven't gotten to the like super gripping parts though. Like my parents, or the people that have watched it that told me about it, including my parents, say that it starts getting crazier and crazier like throughout the series.
For me, here's the thing: is that it gets crazier and crazier, and the tone definitely shifts. Because I think the first 2 to 3 episodes are very much kind of just introducing this absolutely insane world.
Yeah.
Just like, everyone's wacky and goofy and crazy. And I think, those first 2 episodes are definitely good at setting up, the kind of appeal of Joe and Carol.
Well, I don't know about appeal. I mean, I guess, yeah, kind of appeal, but I mean, you can already tell they're kind of fucking weird.
Yeah, no shit. But I'm saying that like things don't only get crazier, but they get a lot darker as you move along.
Yeah, that's what I've been told. Yeah. So that
it definitely takes a turn.
I might lose my grandma as well on this, but yeah, no. But one thing that's already sort of dark, and it's not even presented as that dark, but that's already really fucked up, in my opinion, is that whole Duck Ante shit with his fucking like the what he does to like the girls and shit. Like, that's insane, man. Like,
oh man, wait until you get to Jeff.
Yeah, apparently I haven't even. I know.
Jeff is the worst one, if you ask me. Wait, he's
Jeff.
Yeah,
I don't even know who Jeff is.
No, he hasn't been introduced yet, but What's funny is that for reference sake is that he's not even the worst person in terms of things that he has done, but he's the most unlikable one because he's just the biggest douchebag ever.
Oh boy,
is all I'm gonna say.
Jeff.
He's such a fucking asshole.
Can't wait to meet Jeff.
I think I think he's starts in episode 4. What I will say, so yeah, I just finished it a few hours ago. I watched it through with my dad and Ava.
Okay.
Which was it's interesting. It sparked a lot of discourse in terms of whose side you're on, and I gotta say I'm really on nobody's side because I think they're all terrible people.
Oh, cool. Well, don't spoil too much.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, I think at this point, like at the beginning, you want to think, oh, okay, you know, what's her name again? Carol. Carol is like she's a good person. You know, she's actually, you know, she's doing it for the cats and stuff. And then, like, you get to the middle of episode 1, and you're like, okay, never mind.
No,
she's fucking insane as well.
No, and she's not just insane. She, I mean, is just... Oh, you said you're 2 episodes in, right?
Yeah. Okay. I know it apparently gets worse. And what I've been told is that there's, like, a massive twist about her. But I don't want you to tell me more. But...
I think that's in episode 3, so you're coming up on that.
Oh, okay, cool.
But I think what's actually kind of fun, I think a lot of my favorite not even characters, just my favorite people in it have been a lot of Joe's employees, because I think they definitely give a very different kind of point of view to it, because I think that they know that they're in a really fucked up situation, but there's not really much they can do about it, so they just try to make the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, that's possible.
And I really I liked it because they all seem way more down to earth than anyone else in the show. Like the girl that got her arm bitten off, and the rednecky guy with the long blonde hair.
Yeah. He's great. Yeah. No, for sure. I think it definitely feels like, I mean, for now, from what I've seen, definitely feels like a healthier sort of work environment than Doc Ant's.
Antle?
I thought it was
Antle.
Oh, Antle, you're right. Oh yeah, you're right. It is Antle. Because like I mean, fucking Antle's like it just.
Oh yeah.
It's like you can't get out. You know, it's like fucking insane. I mean, it's like a sect.
Oh yeah, it absolutely. And it's totally what he's doing is absolutely a cult.
Yeah.
And it's just really fucked up. That kind of.
Yeah, more of a cult than a sect, right? Yeah, it's pretty insane.
What I will say is that, once again, I'm not on anyone's side with this. I think they're all bad. But what's fucked up is I think there's a lot of defense of Joe just because he's entertaining and because he's got this, like, you know, crazy thing. He's a charismatic guy.
Yeah.
But as a result is that he's not worth defending. He's a terrible person. Like, no, legit.
I mean,
like,
yeah. I don't think I've just seen enough to be able to fully judge all of them, because you can tell that there's shit that hasn't been shown yet. Like for now, like I can already tell that Joe's a terrible person because of the shit he does with the lines and stuff. Like that's just stuff that I don't agree with. But like he does seem like he could just be, you know, a guy who really loves cats, you know, and he just like
and he's just he's fun to watch, and I think that's what a lot of people like about him. But then, you know, as a result, this has sparked like a free Joe Exotic campaign.
Wait, really? Oh my god.
Yeah, no, do not do that.
Yeah, don't free Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. But to be honest, like it's interesting because I mean, you know me, I'm a full cat person, and watching this, like, it's almost hard not to like really empathize with Joe and like because you can tell he fucking adores cats and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And like that's definitely sort of like an empathy point, because like I mean, you know, it's like a fucking, I was gonna say physical love, but I'm not gonna say that because that could sound really weird. But you know, it's just like an adoration for these animals, man, that I totally get, honestly.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Have you? I mean, even if you're not a cat person, I think you can clearly see that like level of passion and love that he brings to the table. Sure. And he's genuinely passionate about what he does, and I think anyone could admire that, even if they're not necessarily cat people.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, but it's just like, I don't know. It was weird because I wasn't. Not what I was expecting with this show, but just like, you know, seeing all these images of like big cats and shit, like like Black Panthers and lions and shit. Like they're just so beautiful, and it's just like it makes you like empathize with the people that work with them.
Yeah.
And that's just not an element that I was expecting.
Yeah, definitely. I think what's interesting for me is just seeing, I mentioned this in the last one, but I think it's so weird that of all of the things, all of the, I don't know, cultural circles in the world, of all the things to have, a culture surrounding rednecks, assassination plots, drug rings, polygamy, and cults, right?
Yeah.
Of all the things, it's kind of weird that it's big cat trades. Like,
Yeah.
that seems really weird. Like, I never would have guessed
crazy,
in a million years that was the thing that housed that many crazies.
No, yeah, that is insane. Yeah, but it's funny because at the very beginning of like episode 1, they say like in the zoology world, like so like monkey people are kind of goofy and stuff. Like fish people are kind of like solitary, and then big cat people are fucking insane.
Yeah. Like, and seriously, it's just it's so weird that this is a real situation, because this feels like something, like this feels like the plot to a great movie,
Yeah.
but it's real life, and that's the craziest part about all of this. Like, I feel as if you could make something like that up, but it would take effort.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, nowhere else than in America, am I right?
Oh, absolutely.
That's
Nowhere
place.
else. And I mean, it's funny because I will say that a lot of it could be seen as like Florida Man stuff, but it's not even Florida mostly. It's mostly Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Though Carroll is located in Florida.
Yeah, no, isn't Antle in? Oh yeah, no.
No, I think Doc Antle is in Florida as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, one of my only problems about that actually is that he is not. I remember that's very specifically that second episode puts a lot of focus on him and kind of the way, the thing with the cults and the way he treats his workers and stuff. There's not really a lot of focus on him from that point onward. They interview him, but there's not as much emphasis on this guy's really fucked up as there should be, in my opinion.
But maybe it's because he didn't he didn't let them like see that part of him. Like he didn't let them get footage of that. Like, because it's a private property, he could have just not let them on.
Well, it's true, but they still get interviews with him, like surrounding, because I mean it was filmed over the course of 5 years, and so as during the trials and stuff, they're still interviewing, he's still giving his commentary on it, but he's just kind of held at that point. He's kind of held in the same light as a lot of the workers and stuff who are just like, it's not just like this guy is a fucking psycho.
Yeah. Huh? That is peculiar. Yeah. Well, I guess I'll find out as I keep watching.
But is that also not just the craziest look for a human being to have?
Yeah, with the fucking, what is that called again? That little
soul patch.
Oh yeah, soul patch. My God, that guy. Bro, but like all of them, man. Like obviously, Joe Exotic has the craziest look as well. It's like the fucking like bleached mullet.
Yeah,
it's insane.
A lot of people like bleach their hair and then don't like bleach their facial hair, which I find very odd. At least Doc followed through and bleached everything,
Yeah, but bleached facial hair looks really fucking weird, man. Like,
oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Like I know this person who bleaches her eyebrows, and it's just like
I don't like that.
Very strange, yeah. And what's peculiar about this though is that she bleaches only her eyebrows. Like she doesn't bleach her hair. Like her hair is like black.
Wait, I hate that so much. That's such an... I personally really don't like drawn-on eyebrows. I think that's, like, the most unattractive look ever.
Oh, yeah, same. But I think for some people, they can be, like, insecure about their eyebrows, and so
of course.
Drawing them on is, like, is a more secure way to do it.
I don't know. I think it just makes people look weird.
Yeah, it's true. I think I'd probably prefer, like, bad eyebrows than drawn-on eyebrows.
I agree. Yeah. It's... eyebrows.
Yeah, eyebrows, man.
So, I mean, on a different note, have you been up to anything during isolation?
Have I been up to anything? Okay, does that include jerking off and eating?
It can, but only if you've been jerking off and eating more than you usually do.
Well, I've been jerking off more than I usually do.
Okay, then that counts. Yeah.
Yeah, I have also been eating more than I usually do because I'm a relatively slim person, so I've been trying to gain weight. It's actually working, cool. But yeah, no. Otherwise, what have I been doing? I've found a secret stash of beer in my grandparents' cellar, so that's cool. I know I've told you that. I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but yeah. So now they're chilling on my windowsill.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
so yeah, it's definitely going to be a way to pass time.
I will say this is that, like, I would argue that the eating more and jerking off more do constitute as like an extra activity, because I mean, if society were normal right now, we would already put aside time to do those things. And so, but the fact that you're like designating now what is, I guess, free time to it, then it's an extra curricular activity.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, no, it's like it's like a form of exercise.
Yes, this is true.
It's like I eat to ingest the nutrients, and I jerk off to build the muscle. And that's how you gain weight.
Nice.
Yeah. Do you think how much like nutrients do you release per cum shot, do you think?
I was thinking, like, how much could you lose in cum weight?
Like, wait, do you think you would just like lose like net weight if you jerked off too much?
Maybe.
Like you
Probably
would literally
not.
Just lose mass.
No, not noticeably. Right. There's an episode of 30 Rock where there's a character who's just absolutely insane, and there's a scene where she's putting leeches on her face, and when they ask why she's doing it, she's like, "Oh, well, I'm losing a ton of blood weight as a result."
What the fuck? Oh, God,
yeah,
that's horrible.
I've been kind of trying to keep active. I've now gotten into this routine. I started at the beginning of April, where every day I do a little bit of writing. It doesn't matter how much it is. It can be one line of dialogue on a script for all I care. It just has to be something a little bit every day. And I'm also working on music at the moment. I think I mentioned this before. I'm trying to put together a solo album, and I'm doing a little bit of that every day. And the way I view it is, I think Jerry Seinfeld came up with this method called just don't break the chain. So you just do even a little bit every day, and you just, in doing that, you get into a rhythm of and it just helps you be more prolific and stuff, and that's definitely what I'm trying to do.
And then Jack's phone ran out of battery, and they had to spend another 2 minutes getting that to work.
Yo, hey, sorry, my thing cut out.
Yeah, it's cool, don't worry about it.
Okay,
all Gucci.
I don't know, this is this going to shit real quick is probably a good note to end this on. Is there anything you would like to do before then?
I mean, honestly, let's see. Well, I can give you. You know what? I can give you a tape of this because I've been actually not composing, but like sort of creating what I guess I would call a sound tape, which actually sort of like encompasses a new language. Actually, it's like sign language, but through sounds and through like mixes. You know what? Let me just play this for you. Hold on. You know what? Let me just put this loud enough. Hold on, that might be too loud. All right, here we go.
Is that just porn?
What?
Is that just porn?
I don't understand.
Is it porn, Jules? Jules?
Come back next week to hear the answer to that question.
Yeah, that's probably a good note to. Yep. Well, bye everyone.
Bye.